are high in the points as you get closer towards the chase in the way you change the way you race or the mental approach to the weekend? Does that happen for a race team?
I don't think so. Although we did rest the last half of the Indy race, I guess it was, and it seemed like the last part of last week. But I don't think so. I mean, you always want to win. You always want to bring your best stuff. Obviously, they rank you by wins, and you know, our sport's, you know, quite a bit different. If it'd be like an NFL if they started your playoff game with some points instead of starting 0-0. I mean, that's kind of how it is. If you win here, you start the playoffs with some points. So obviously that's really important. Indy was a letdown last weekend. I thought we were really in position to have a chance at a win there, especially with the race probably, well, it did get shortened. We knew it was going to get shortened probably. So I thought we had a good chance there of getting that extra, the point or whatever, and you know, going into the chase. So I think for us and our team and where we're at, I think it's important to try to get a win before the chase starts, and to make sure we're in the chase after the last 2 weeks. You know, anything can happen. If we have many more of them, we might be you know, getting back toward that 10th spot farther than we want to be.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob. Okay, we'll take over here to your right.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. If you don't get practice in today and they end up starting by points and just practicing tomorrow, how does that maybe change the dynamic of the race with you and Junior on the front row, and you know, a lot of guys, maybe road course vets or stronger road course racers, kind of mid-pack?
Man, I think that sounds awesome. They started by points. You know, it'll probably change it. It'll actually probably make it more interesting, honestly, for this track. You know, maybe not some other tracks, and I know NASCAR, you know, went to the speeds and all those different things if we do practice to try not to line them up by points, because it's generally more exciting and more passing and all that, you know, with qualifying. But this is one of those rare places, I think. The racing might actually be more interesting if they start by points, because there's probably some guys up there that aren't the best at road courses that might fall back. And then there's probably some really good road course guys like, you know, I don't know, the first couple guys that pop in your mind, I guess, is like Marcos and Juan Pablo and guys like that aren't as high in points, that'll probably be moving toward the front. So it might actually make the race, you know, more interesting if we don't qualify.
Okay, we'll take Chad, then Jim, up here, up front. Do you want to take Jim first? Over here.
Jim Noble, ESPN. With Jeff suddenly in the wild card picture after Pocono, how much do you think about Jeff, if he gets in the chase, could go on some sort of streak, because they've been fast all year, they just haven't had the luck? What do you think of his chances should he get in?
Well, I think there's all kinds of good race teams out there that are capable of winning and getting on a run if they get into the chase. So I think once the chase field gets set, if we're lucky enough to be in that, I really worry about all the teams. I mean, there's some you worry about more than others, but certainly all four Hendrick teams are ones that you have to worry about or watch out for. As good as that organization runs, I think all four of them cars have proved that they're, well, they've all 4-1, I guess, so they're all proved they're capable of winning and getting on a run and being championship contenders.
Go ahead.
Chad Leistico, USA Today. Can you give us an inkling of how soon you're going to announce your 2013 plans?
I would if I knew, but I don't know.
Any discussions?
No, hasn't really been in the last few weeks, honestly.
Deal still in place, though, right?
Hope so. Yeah.
Additional questions for Matt? Okay, Joe, we got another one up front.
Joe Manzer, NASCAR.com. Matt, as Marty so eloquently pointed out, you're very astute.
Elegantly.
Good word, right?
Yeah. Good time it's raining out.
What you've obviously been very successful throughout your career at all tracks, but what is it about road courses that has been difficult for you to get a handle on?
Well, I think they're both a lot different, like we talked about. I think this year at Sears Point we did a little bit better. I feel like that's one of my worst tracks on the circuit. In this place, I feel like there's been times we've ran pretty competitively. We've been okay. So I don't know. It's just totally different than oval track racing. It's totally different technique, approach. I think the hardest thing probably for me through the years is probably to give, you know, Jimmy and the guys, whoever's working on the car, the best feedback I can, or help them, get them what they need in the car, what I need in the car to go fast. So that's probably been my biggest challenge, is to, help them guys help me.